Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Necromaniacs Horror Podcast. How's it going, Jeff? You having a great day so far?
Yeah, I mean, sort of, I guess. It's I don't know how it is where you are, but it woke up and it's quite cold this morning.
Yeah, it's cool down here in Jersey.
Yeah, we had all windows open and just like, woke up shivering. It's raining. It's kind of gloomy, but I enjoy that. When it's not every day, it's been sunny for 5 days and you get like a nice gloomy rainy day. I enjoy that.
Yeah, now I'm on board with that too. Have
Yeah,
you
it's a
checked
nice
any?
day to go to the movies or something. Sorry.
Actually, now that you mention it, what are you planning to? Are you planning to go to the movies today? I think we talked about this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I am. I think I'm gonna go check out Backrooms, which you saw yesterday.
Yep, I went last night. Yes, well, technically it's evening. It's 5 p.m. So
Okay.
I don't
All
stay out
right.
late. I don't stay out late like I used to. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, no, me neither. Senior citizen lifestyle back over here.
but I
How was
went.
it?
All right, I give it a thumbs up. And
Okay.
yeah, it's I was dubious, you know what I mean? Just like anything else.
Hmm.
It's getting a lot of hype.
A
It's
lot, yeah.
yeah, conceptually I'm on board with it. You know what I mean? Like it sounds cool, the concept sounds cool. Like I've actually seen a fair amount of Kane Parsons material. So I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, this guy has like some pretty cool ideas. But the hype behind it, I'm like, this is definitely going to disappoint me, right?
Hmm.
So I went to the Menlo Park AMC, right? I used to go there all the time when I lived in Metuchen. That was like my Friday night thing. If a movie came out, I'd go to the last show. There'd be like three people there,
Hmm.
and when I left, the mall would be closed and it'd just be sick.
Yeah.
So it was a different vibe this time around, going at 5 o'clock in the afternoon or evening or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Compounded with the fact that Backrooms is an internet thing, right?
Hmm.
And young people are keen on the internet, as you know.
I've heard of this.
Yeah. So the place was, the theater. They were showing in two theaters actually.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy, right?
it is.
This one was mostly populated with young people,
Hmm.
and you know how I feel about young people.
Yeah.
I don't like them, right?
Yeah, no one does.
Yeah. A lot of there were some kids that could not get in because they were under 18, right?
Wow.
Yeah. This kid approached me and said, "Excuse me, sir, could you help my friend get in? He is not 18." I go, "Excuse me?" I go, "Get the fuck out of here." I told him that. I was like, "Are you kidding?" I just, no, I'm not going to do it. My wife said I was being mean, but I'm like, fuck this kid. You know what I mean? I
Yeah, man.
also went as far as to tell him, I said, if your friend's not 18, why is he buying tickets for a R-rated movie? Because apparently he bought tickets on the AMC app. You know what I mean?
What are you gonna do to help him exactly?
I don't know. And what happens? And now
Like
another
this
thing.
is this is my kid.
Yeah,
He's with me.
it's like it's like Asian guy or whatever. But also I'm also going to tell you guys. Last summer at this very same mall, there was like I don't know, like 200 kids showed up and went nuts inside the mall. And
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
There's a similar phenomenon here, actually. Yeah, like a teen takeover or something.
yeah. And I was just like, what happens if I mean, I don't want to be part of that. Like, who let this kid in? That guy over there with the black
Yeah,
sweatshirt.
yeah, you're on the news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too risky these days, man. It's like I don't trust kids. Like I know when I was a kid, if I went to an R-rated movie, if I was able to get in there somehow, I just kept my mouth shut, man.
Yeah, you snuck in like like you're supposed to.
Yeah, I don't just fucking
Yeah.
ask some adult to do something like that.
Trying to be like the cool older guy, like it can backfire. Like if kids come up to you, "Hey, mister, will you buy us booze?" And you're like, "Yeah, sure,
No
why
way.
not?" And
I
then
don't
that
want.
kid goes and like trashes a
All
fucking
right.
car and kills someone. That's your
Yeah,
fault, Like,
absolutely, dude. And I
yeah.
don't I like when young people have a hard time. I like that. I don't want them to have it easy. You know what I mean?
Well, they have it so easy now. Hey, listen to us like a couple of guys on the porch. Uh, no, yeah, you're right. Like, I'm not that guy either, man. Like, no way. No fucking way. I don't even feel comfortable talking to anyone who's like below 30.
Nah,
Like,
dude, I'm with you. I'm with you right there, man. 100%.
yeah.
You know. But anyway, back to the movie. And all right. So these young people, they definitely behave themselves, which I was surprised.
Amazing.
Yeah. So the movie, it fucking hit, man. It really did for me. I mean, well, I'm sure we need to talk about this in detail.
Yeah.
So I'm spoiling the fact that I liked it. But let's see when we get to it if what kind of rating I give it. I guess, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I am always dubious of horror films that hit with a wide audience. They usually turn out to be not to my taste. Like the new Scream films
Ah,
and
yeah, yeah,
fuck, I mean any of the Scream films really, I guess. Combined with the fact that this year has been absolute trash for horror, I'm skeptical. But
yeah.
you sent me a link to the shorts. I did like them. I wondered like if trying to flesh this out and make it appealing to a mass audience would kind of ruin it. I'm very curious. I
Well,
do see that the reviews are good,
yeah.
but the audience reviews are kind of low, which actually gives me hope
No,
because
yeah, no, totally. Because it's like some
it,
fucking like basic motherfucker is probably rolling up thinking it's going to be like jump scares and
yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
and I got to be honest with you, I noticed that because it is very slow. This film,
Mm,
right? And it has that brooding, like liminal, like vibe to it, which is like what I like.
yeah.
And I noticed that some of the young people were definitely getting like impatient with it. You know what I mean? You can tell they were
Yeah.
fidgety. So there you go.
Right. Okay. Well, hopefully gonna go today. And if so, we'll be talking about it soon.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely. I know that last night I was checking in on the internet just because I tried not to really watch too much before I went to see it.
Yeah,
Mark
same.
Kermode gave it a thumbs up too, and I was approve of what he usually appreciate his opinions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the number one movie this weekend, dethroning a Star Wars movie. How times have changed.
Star Wars isn't what it used to be though, man.
Yeah, no, it's. I checked out. I think it was after the second one in the new trilogy. It was just kind of over it. Um, but yeah, between this and Obsession, horror is dominating the summer. But Obsession, it seems to be getting some love even from people who listen to this show. So
Yeah, I definitely want to see that. I don't know if it'll be an in theater watch, but
yeah,
definitely going to check it out. Probably when it goes streaming. I want to see The Passenger. I want to see that one.
yeah, I do too.
Um, that might be a streaming viewing as well. But
Yeah,
there's a few things that are percolating, I think.
yeah, and I haven't been to the movies in a while. I've been watching a ton of movies. I did, however, check out a few documentary
Oh,
series this week on HBO. I
okay.
watched The Yogurt Shop Murders, which is a pretty unimaginative title, but it's about a 1991 murder or a few murders in at a yogurt shop in Austin, Texas, where I used to live. And it's a five-part series on HBO. Really, really interesting story. Um, kind of gets into like false confessions and wrong people being wrongly accused, which made us think like, oh, we should check out Paradise Lost again.
Yeah.
And so watched all three of those. And I mean, anyone listening to this is probably familiar with the West Memphis Three and the great injustice that was done to them. And what a crazy story it is, and how basically like these guys making a documentary about these kids way back in the 90s basically saved their lives, or saved Damien Echols' lives for sure.
Yeah. And also Henry Rollins brought a lot of awareness to the case too.
Yes, and Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam, Peter Jackson, the filmmaker Peter Jackson eventually took up the mantle, made his own, produced his own documentary. But these guys really got the ball rolling. If that documentary wasn't made, you and I mean, we would not be. No one would know who these guys are.
Yeah, no, totally. I think I've
Wild
seen.
story.
I saw the yogurt murders actually too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that was my wife is a big true crime fan, so we watched it like it was like one of those like weeknight before you go to sleep type things.
I had heard of this story when I was living in Austin. Actually, I remember someone mentioning that. So it was a case that loomed large in Austin. Great documentary. I cannot recommend either of those two enough. I mean, just really great. But like I said, I assume everyone's seen Paradise Lost at this point.
There's a show on Apple that we're checking out that Brandon Legion actually recommended to me, and
Oh yeah.
it's called Widow's Peak. Oh, sorry, Widow's Bay. Widow's Bay.
Oh, yeah, he sent me something about that, saying that it's really good. I should check it out then, huh?
I dug it, man. We watched 2 episodes. I think there's 5 at the time we're recording this that are up right now, and it's interesting because it's like, all right, there's comedy horror, and
Hmm.
then there's horror with comedy,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
this is horror with like overtones of humor.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yes,
in.
yeah, similar to like like all right, well, Shaun of the Dead is a straight up comedy horror. I think
Yes.
I love it, but it's generally not my bag. But I do like Shaun of the Dead quite a bit. But there's definitely like yeah, I can't remember any. I can't name off the top of my head, but there's like touches of humor, and this is like the humor is a little bit broader. Like
Yeah.
there's definitely attempts at like comedic beats in Widow's Bay.
Hmm.
But the horror is real. Like it's like there's creepy shit that goes on in there, and the story's cool, and it takes place in like a Stephen King esque setting, like somewhere in
Hmm.
Maine, and
Okay.
yeah, it just has like that small town like vibe to it. So it's shot really well. It's cool.
Man, yeah, and it's crazy that like something like that can exist and I don't know about it. Like there's just so much stuff
Well, Apple
now.
doesn't do shit, man. Like Apple, they put out these shows and no one knows about them.
Yeah, I think like Severance is like their only show that like most people do know about.
Yeah, and there's like stuff on there. It's definitely like cool. Like I like a lot of the Apple stuff. Like there's Servant, which I thought was really good, which hardly anyone talks about that.
Was that the M. Night Shyamalan show where
I
he was
think so.
involved?
I
Yeah.
think so. It's got that redhead from 6 Feet Under's in it. What's her name? The what chick who played Claire.
Oh, right. Yeah. I
Yeah,
know what you're talking about.
it's good. It's weird. It's a weird fiction story, man. And it's like no one fucking talks it. No one knows about it.
Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, like when I was going on HBO to watch these documentaries and Netflix too. Like I just turning it on, I'm like, man, I don't know what any of this stuff is, and it's all this stuff that seems interesting to me, but I had no
Yeah,
idea it existed.
yeah.
And I don't know if I'm just out of the loop or it's just too much out there.
No, they don't do a good job of specifically Apple doesn't do shit to promote anything, man. Which is
Yeah.
they just like they're just balling in so much money that they're just like their whole network is probably like whatever, we don't care, here it is. It's like Netflix. I become disillusioned with. I don't really like Netflix. We actually canceled our subscription to Netflix.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm like we're paying too much money and we don't watch it. And
Yeah, I can't remember why I turned it on actually. I don't remember. I think someone had recommended because I told them I was watching the Yogurt Shop Murders and like, oh, you got to watch this. And it
yeah,
was on Netflix. So I was like, oh, all right, okay, yeah, it's still there. I'll check it out. And I can't even remember what it was. So
yeah. I mean, there's things that are on there, and like I mean, and the rationale is like, well, if something pops up that we have to watch this, we can just do it for a month or something like that, which is cool.
yeah,
Yeah, we dropped
is
a bunch
it?
of streamers. We dropped Hulu,
Yeah,
we dropped Netflix. Um, Trying to think what else we dropped. But yeah, definitely those two are gone now. We don't subscribe to them anymore.
isn't it crazy? Remember when Netflix came out and you were just so excited, like, wow. this is amazing. Wow, and the whole show like just dropped. Like you don't have to wait week to week. And now you're like, yeah, fuck Netflix.
Oh, you
Like,
remember when they used to send you DVDs?
yeah, I do. I think I still have one somewhere.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but also keep it. What I find too is like the ads. Like I'm not saying like if you have a Hulu subscription, you still see ads, dude. And the same thing with Prime. Prime will do the
Mm,
ads in the beginning. And I know that I'm like, why am I paying a subscription to watch ads? And places like Tubi and Pluto
mm.
oftentimes offer the same shows but with ads. So it's like, why not watch them for free with some ads, then pay
Yeah.
and watch the same content with ads? It doesn't make any sense. So it's like, Tubi has a ton of great shit. Um, that's like the Wild West, man. You can watch like extreme shit on there, and then like, they got all kinds of stuff on Tubi, which I'm down. So same thing with Pluto.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I was watching Twilight Zone on one of those the other day. I think it was Tubi. Yeah, dude, I remember when we were covering the Hellraiser remake,
Yeah.
which was awful, by the way, for
Yeah.
those of you who didn't
Horrible.
catch that episode. But it was on Hulu, and I think we talked about like, hey, did you have ads during this
Yeah.
while
Yep.
you were watching it? And like, I completely soured on Hulu after that, and the fact that the movie was just absolutely fucking horrible.
Yeah. Hellraiser sucked, dude. I mean, when you watch Hellraiser, when I watched Hellraiser, it felt like I shouldn't be watching it. You know what I mean? It felt like
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if this is like something that I was old enough to watch when I watched it back then.
yeah, I was like 11, I think.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I don't know, man. This is like, I don't know, this is dangerous shit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the new one, you're like, I don't know if I should be watching this, but for completely different reasons.
Yeah, I was like, completely not into that. So
Yeah, I just did completely miss the mark. Go back and check out our episode on that one, folks.
yeah, we tore it to pieces.
I believe we did.
Well,
Anything else you've been checking out?
no,
Anything?
man,
Is
that's
that good?
about it. It's those are two big ones, man. The back rooms I thought was definitely go see it. We'll cover it fairly soon, man. And then the Widow's Bay thing was pretty much a rad show to check in on. And Brandon brought that up, and then after he brought it up, I started seeing other people talking about it. So then we
Yeah,
checked it out last night.
yeah. Thanks for sending that over to me, Mr. Legion.
But before we get to speaking of Mr. Legion, let's talk about the rest of the guys. So
Yes, let's do it.
as you guys know, we're part of an elite cabal of content creators known as the Horsemen of the Podcasting Apocalypse. So every other Monday, Brandon Legion kicks things off with Horror Wolf 666. Up next on Tuesday, we got Jackie Smith's Into the Necrosphere, the finest extreme music podcast in the land. And every now and then you'll hear Mike Scandato, our other co-host, show up on there to do the news rant with Jackie. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. Wednesday is Everything Went Black. Got some really cool episodes, either airing now or about to air. One of them is an episode I did with Brad Kelly, the author of The Earth in Dark. And he's also a host of another podcast called Method and Madness, which is, if you're into, literature and books and things like that, definitely check it out. And also, he was a co-host on Art of Darkness, which is another literary podcast. If you want to check out, a wide variety of authors and stuff that they talk about. Wednesday will also bring us Iblis Manifestations, brought to you by Cheyenne. Thursday is Necro Thursday, as well as day one of Soul Knox, brought to you by Carl a.ka. Friday, you can tune in to Spitball Media, which is an irreverent pop culture podcast. Saturday is a day off. Now, we're getting into the warmer months, the springtime. Summer's right around the corner. So fire up your grills on Saturdays, go out, get some vitamin D, the natural way with sunlight, instead of those weird lamps that people use. Because Sunday, the darkness returns with Soul Knox Day 2, brought to you by Carl a.ka. And Carl and I wrapping up Darkness Weaves, man, and fully kicking off the savage world of Robert E. Howard. which is going to last for years to come, man. You know, I may retire from podcasting after I finish Savage World of Robert E. Howard.
Mm.
And that's it, man. That's like a full week of content for everybody.
Lots of cool stuff.
Yeah. So if you want to call us, you can reach us on the Necro Phone. And that number is 908 913 0782. 908 913 0782. And we have one caller this week. We've got AP from Atlanta.
Hey, what's up, Necromaniacs? This is AP from Atlanta calling back. Was just on my weekly Thursday dog walk, checking out the new episode, and just checking in to say that last Friday I saw Obsession in theaters. Thought it was really an excellent movie. Very well made. I know it's kind of blowing up now, but yeah, really, really worth your time, even if it's just an at-home watch later. And I got my tickets for Backrooms tomorrow night, so it's a nice little summer here for horror. Enjoying it. Love the show. Love having you guys talking about stuff every week. After last week's episode, I decided to place an order for a copy of the actual book of Wake and Fright. So I'll check back in to let you know how that goes. But keep doing what you're doing. All right. Take it easy, guys.
Right on, man. As you've heard by now, we are both keen to check out Obsession. So that's a cool recommend, man. Definitely.
Yeah. Now, now that I remember, you guys were talking about Dolly on last week's episode. The caller recommended that too,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to check that out, man. Listening to your episode, you talking about it, kind of sold me on it.
Yeah, it's good. Look, it was cool, man. It was definitely like grimy. It was a grimy movie, so it's got that, exploitation sort of vibe to it. It could very well be like some sort of grindhouse like vibe.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
And definitely into happy that you're going to check out the Wake and Fright novel.
Mm.
I mean, you'll blaze right through it, man. It's a quick read. It definitely gives more background, goes a little deeper into the characters, but it's essentially the same as the film. There's no departures or anything like that really in the movie.
I got to read that, man. That might be my favorite episode we've done. That was I mean, I was just not expecting the film to be what it was. Completely took me by surprise.
What was your expectation going into it? Like, what do you think
I think I mentioned it on the podcast. I was expecting some sort of like dark survival horror, like Wolf Creek or something like that. That's where I thought it was going, because I had heard it's this disturbing film, and it was. I mean, it was disturbing, but for an entirely different reason.
Yeah,
that was more like I don't even like. It almost like put it in a similar category as Skinamarink. Like, oh, it's nothing like that film, but you know what I mean. It was just something just so unique and strange and unexpected.
Yeah, it's funny. I've been thinking about what you guys mentioned on the chat about how that movie is like an analog of like being on tour, And,
yes, yeah.
So the main character, there are guys like that. There are dudes in bands who they have like that character flaw that they end up on drugs. They got like face tat at the end. They're like,
yeah,
they join the band. They're like a nice kid. They're like, all right, cool. I play bass or whatever. I'm gonna join this heavy metal band and we're gonna make records. And I'm a pretty good guy. But he doesn't know. That person doesn't understand the character flaw they have because they haven't been under pressure that you would experience being on the road. Right.
Right. Yep.
So like that pressure cooker of being on traveling like that brings out the weaknesses in their character, and then they end up going into these like dark places. They start doing drugs or become alcoholics, or they got like face tattoos or whatever at the end of the day.
Yeah. No. Totally. Like I mean, you've seen it. You've been on tour. Like you run into people in other bands. You see like the one guy who's got a look to him, you're like, oh man, you're not gonna make it. Like, this ain't for you.
Yeah. Or you could even see it sometimes in your own band. Like with
Oh
guys
yeah,
that are like they when they joined, they were like completely different people, you know?
yeah. I mean, hey, dude, that life is not for everyone. It's
It's
really
not,
not.
definitely not.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
it can break you.
I think I must have the Blu-ray, the new Blu-ray of Wake and Fright that's coming out in I think in June, at the end of June.
Yeah, and we got to bring Selden back and talk about the remake, the series.
Oh yeah, dude. I haven't tuned into that yet.
Yeah, me neither, but I'm very, very, very curious.
Yeah, yeah. It could be a mess, which is pretty likely, I think.
Yeah, yeah. My mind's made up already. Like, there's no way that's good.
No, no, definitely not. Um, yeah, so thanks for calling, AP. Yeah, maybe we'll be covering Obsession before too long.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
Lo que tiene delante es la famosa mesa de centro Roret, cristal tintado en bronce, irrompible, una estructura con imagen de dos bellas damas modeladas en marfil y bañadas en una perfecta imitación de oro. Esta pieza es de diseño sueco y la pueden utilizar en el salón, en su dormitorio o en cualquier rincón del hogar donde quieran dar un look elegante y de diseño. Será su mesa preferida para tomar un café o un aperitivo con sus seres queridos. Y les aseguro que esta mesa, por diseño y por su nivel, les va a cambiar la vida a mejor.
So that brings us to this week's feature film. Actually, the movie's called The Coffee Table. It's a Spanish film. And this has been a film that has been discussed with the callers and also my friend Emilio over from the Everything Went Black Patreon has brought this up and recommended it to me personally. So I'm glad that we're finally getting to this film.
Yeah, I mean, I remember hearing a lot of talk about this. I want to say in like 2024-ish. Not really. No one would really go into detail about it, but I would just hear about this deeply unsettling horror film called The Coffee Table. And well, last October, I watched my horror movie a day like I do every October, and I finally get around to The Coffee Table. And brilliant film, and I said I will never watch this again. And then when you're like, does anyone want to cover The Coffee Table? I jump right up. Yep. Like, and as I was watching it last night, I thought, why did I agree to do this? I didn't want to sit through this again.
It's not a fun movie, man, for sure.
Not at all. As we'll talk about.
All right, so it's directed by I apologize, any of our Spanish-speaking listeners if I destroy this name. Caye Casas, and written by Caye Casas and Chris Borobia. Okay, now I don't know that much about these filmmakers. I know Casas has two shorts out, Nothing CO and RIP, and another feature film called Killing God. And those are the English titles. So yeah.
Okay. Unfamiliar with those.
Yeah. I am actually pretty keen to check those out on the strength of this film, actually. But
yeah,
we're getting ahead of ourselves. Released on November 30th, 2022 at the Palin Black Nights Festival. That sounds cool, right?
Yeah.
And then December 1st, 2023 in Spain. And it is now playing on Shudder. So you can watch it on Shudder if you're a subscriber.
That's where I watched it.
Yeah, the film is 91 minutes long.
Yeah. Pretty quick. Doesn't feel quick, but it's a short one.
I would say it's excruciating, actually.
I would too.
All right. So the cast is Estefania de los Santos as Maria, David Perea as Jesus, Eduardo Antuna as the salesman, who's kind of a key character in this. Claudia Riera as Christina, Josep Maria Riera as Carlos and Gala Flores as Ruth. And then there's like I mean, it's a pretty lean cast.
Yeah, maybe about like 7 or 8 people in this
Yeah.
whole movie. Yeah, basically one location, two maybe. You know, like the furniture store and the apartment.
Yeah, it's basically 2 rooms, and then there's an exterior shot at the end. But yeah,
Right. Yeah. So, small cast, small budget. Um, again, shows that you can do an awful lot with very little.
and you don't. I mean, we're going to get into the plot, but you don't. The really horrific stuff, you don't really see it in this movie, too.
That's true. Yeah, and I think that is a wise decision to show restraint in that regard.
But it just doesn't. It ratchets up the anticipation because you think you're about to see something.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, I don't know about you, but like I said, I really went into this knowing nothing. It was almost like a wake and fright situation for me where I'm like, I know this is considered highly disturbing and fucked up, but I'm not exactly sure what this is, like what kind of horror movie this is, and I will say this movie never really quite went where I thought it was going to go. Even once like events started unfolding, I thought, okay, now this is going to happen, and none of that happened.
Yeah, definitely. I went into this like when my friend Emilio told me about it, I was like, he didn't really give me much background. He just like, it's something. Check it out. And I'm like, okay, sounds great. So I did, and it was definitely something. All right.
It was definitely something.
Yeah. So the film starts off. We've got our 2 main characters, Jesus and Maria. They're in a furniture store, and they've got they have a baby with them, Cayetano.
Cayetano, yeah.
Yeah. Once again, apologies for destroying the Spanish language.
Yeah, I just cannot say that for some reason.
Yeah. They're arguing over whether or not they should buy this coffee table. What do you think of that coffee table first?
Oh my God. That thing was absolutely hideous. This scene is so brilliant. Well, we should mention the movie actually does start off showing painful childbirth.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Which again, it starts with sort of this dark, like intense scene that goes into this scene that is, I think, played as like comedy. This whole scene between the couple with the baby, our main characters, and the salesman. It's funny. And so right away, like it's sort of like tonally, you're not sure where this is going.
The humor, the absurdist part of this made the movie even more sinister to me because it was like you're saying, it starts off with the childbirth scene, okay, which is like kind of uncomfortable, especially being a man, without any children, by the way, and that I know of at least, and
Same.
and then it cuts to the scene where they're in this furniture store arguing over this awful table. And it's very confusing, and puts you off balance because of the this humorous sort of absurd scene.
Right. I mean, it's clearly played for laughs as soon as you get a look at the salesman in his like cheap sort of like he looks like maybe like he was in the Bad Seeds in like the late 80s like kind of suit, you know what I mean?
Maybe he got thrown out.
Yeah, exactly. Like the suit is just like it's just off. It's he's not a slick guy. He's kind of like a dirtbag. Probably knows he's selling like shit, but he's really good at it. But it's funny.
And he's like really pouring it on with the sale. It's like
oh yeah,
it's indestructible. It's like
they hammer that point home.
Yeah, that's important that the glass is unbreakable. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like it's indestructible. The glass is never going to break. This is like a top shelf item. And then Maria kind of flips the script when he says that. It's like, well, do you have one at home? And he's like, no, I don't. It's like,
yeah. So like, why don't you have one? If it's he's like, well, I can't afford this. And she's like, so you're admitting it's expensive. Like she has this guy's number, man, like right away. And she's just like dismantling his bullshit. And he's unfazed by it though. He's got an answer for everything.
Yeah. But Jesus is like completely enamored with this thing for whatever reason, you know.
Well, yeah, yeah. Not only this scene is so well constructed because not only is it funny, it tells you a lot about this couple without really spelling it out for you. Kind of sets up like their dynamic
Yeah.
and the state of their relationship just by them discussing this coffee table. You know, there's no exposition dialogue about it. It just you really kind of like, okay, I think I see what's going on between these two.
Well, also just to speak on that a little bit more, they're a little bit old to be having a newborn baby too, don't you say?
Yeah, you know, I have that written down.
Yeah.
You know, it says like, you know, he gives his email address and it's his full name with 76 at the end. So I'm assuming he was born in 76.
Yeah.
So he's in his early 40s and she looks, I would say, about the same age.
Yeah, probably about the same. She's in her 40s, which, you know, it's like, I'm not trying to be, you know, sexist or, you know, whatever, you know, if you guys, you know, hey, if you can do it, salute, you know what I mean? But it
Right.
is a little bit old because your kid's going to be, you're going to be in your 60s by the time your kid is like, you know, college age, you know what I mean? And it's like,
Right.
you know,
And but that in and of it, like that is a great detail to make these people like in their early 40s as opposed to like their 20s. It really tells you so much about the state, like why they had this child. It was probably like they weren't getting along, and then this is like maybe like some way to save the relationship. You know what I mean?
and it does seem like a desperate, because they continue to not get along either all throughout this film. This whole film is about like them at each other's throats in a lot of ways, you know,
Right, yeah.
and also Jesus obviously concealing certain things from her too.
Right.
And there's also a sort of like response to this later on. I'm getting ahead of ourselves here, but there's a response to like the age and the child thing later on in the film too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, with like his brother, and you know,
Yes, that's true. Oh, yeah, I'm glad. Okay, we'll definitely get to that. But so like that's why he wants this coffee table because she hates it. That's why he
yeah,
likes it. It's
yeah,
like a fuck you to her. You know, like I think he even explicitly says he didn't want children later on in the film.
yep, he does. Yeah,
And so yeah, this is like, you know, a little jab because he can, you know. It's like and you know, anyone who's been in a relationship knows people do shit like this. You'll be a shithead just just to win.
out of spite. Yeah,
Yeah. I've done it, you've done it, we've all done it.
yeah. The table itself, though, it's pretty epic, though. Really, it's what I was thinking about. This seems like
You
something
could not
that
pick
would
attack your table, yeah.
it would have been, this would have been like, well, first of all, if it would have been in our Calumet house probably, but
Right.
it would have gotten destroyed though, like within like 2 weeks probably of being there. But
You think it
it's
would have
not.
lasted 2 weeks?
Nah, it would have been, someone would have fell on it or got thrown into it, or you know, something would have happened to the table.
Someone would have been using it as a bed, probably.
Yeah, a bed and then a weapon probably.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but it's got these like golden, like painted gold naked women who are holding up this like totally chintzy paint, like glass table with like no reinforcement around it at all.
Yeah, you know, it's the kind of table that like you know, like it gets, you know, someone, your friend has it and he doesn't know how he ended up with it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like one of those things. Like you go to like say your friend like, "What's up with that table? Where'd you get that?" And like, "Oh, I don't know. I got it from a friend who got it on the street." You know, it's that's the kind of table we're talking about.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, you found
It
it
it,
somewhere, maybe, you know.
yeah, it's fucking gaudy and trashy and ugly. And it's just hilarious to me that this guy's selling it so hard. Is this will change your life for the better. That's how great this table is.
So we're back in their building that they live in, and then we meet Ruth, the 13-year-old.
Oh my God. Yeah. This is a very interesting scene too. Well, I mean, doesn't he also have to lug the fucking thing up
Yeah,
the stairs all by himself, which
yeah,
again, like You might have won the battle, but not the war.
Yeah, so that's when we run into their neighbors though, because he's carrying this monstrosity up the stairs. Like, it's of course it's not assembled. He's got to put it together.
Oh, which is that's a fucking horror movie. Putting
Yeah.
furniture together.
Oh, I hate it. Yeah.
Ugh, the worst.
So then Ruth and her mom, we run into them, and the mother's like, talking to Maria, oh, I want to see the baby, blah blah blah, all this stuff, and Ruth, the 13-year-old girl, sort of is like manipulating Jesus. Somehow she's like, did you tell your wife about us? It's like, I see the way you look at me in the elevator, and it's like so uncomfortable. This, like, in her mind, there's like a budding relationship, a budding romance between herself and Jesus, who's, like in his early 40s at this point.
Right. Yeah. It was just such an added uncomfortable element to a movie that gets very uncomfortable shortly after this. Also interesting to note in that scene, I don't know if you picked up on this, but the way Ruth's mom looks at
Oh
Jesus.
yeah, yeah, and that comes up later on in the film too, where, like, her Ruth's mom is definitely eyeballing Jesus for sure.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Like everyone's sort of yeah, like the both of them react to Jesus in a certain way, which it doesn't really have a whole lot of bearing on the plot, this little subplot. So that was like kind of interesting to me. Like again, like I thought I knew where this was going, and only for it to not go there.
Well, it kind of just adds to the whole absurdity of the film, really, because
Right.
there's like, and
Yeah.
I mean like absurdity in like a positive way. It's like an absurdist. This is like kind of an absurdist horror film, really.
Yeah, well, in any other movie, that would be the plot of this obsessive 13-year-old. But in a movie like this, it's just something that's happening while this other terrible thing is happening.
Yeah. So, we lugs it into the apartment, and we find out that Jesus's brother Carlos and his new girlfriend are coming over for a dinner date, party, whatever, having
Hmm.
them over. And Maria goes out to do some shopping, and Jesus starts constructing the table, and they make references to the Swedes. We all love putting together IKEA furniture and that sort of stuff too. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So he finally gets his thing together, but he's missing a screw, one screw, and he gets on the phone with the salesman, and he's like, oh, we're gonna have to order it. It's on back. He gives him some song and dance about the screw,
Hmm.
right? The baby's crying, uh, and he picks up the baby to comfort the baby, and off screen we hear this, what sounds like something being dropped, and an abrupt ceasing of the baby's crying.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like something happened here.
It's a great shot. It's like from the hallway, from a distance, and you just hear that sound, and glass sort of comes flying into the frame. I mean, I don't know, but I like laughed when that happened. Like I don't know if it was out of like discomfort or like finally like the tense thing that was going to happen happened. Like, but like something about it played as humorous to me very briefly.
I thought it was funny too, man. You know,
Okay, all
yeah.
right.
I mean, because it's like, of course this happens. You know what I mean? So the glass breaks, and we find out, sort of without actually seeing it, that the baby's head was cut off.
Right. Well, we do get it doesn't linger, but there is like an overhead shot of the baby, and you don't see its head. So you know what happens. It doesn't show the actual act, but you do
Yeah.
see some of the aftermath.
Yeah, it doesn't show the glass decapitating the baby in like lurid details, but you see the aftermath, like Jeff was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh man, like I gotta say, it's 20 minutes into the movie when this happens, and the next hour is almost unbearable.
Yeah, I mean, the reality, it's like this could be a short film, but
I'm glad you said that.
yeah, but I like like the next, like you said, the next hour, it just tortures you for like the remainder of the film, because we know now we're in a scenario where Jesus, instead of like, you know, trying to call like, you know, a medic or, you know, being honest about what's happening, he conceals everything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wrote down, what would you do? Because I honestly don't know. Like, I think we all know what it's like to struggle with feelings of guilt, and then, you know, you have to tell someone something that you've done and you'd rather die
Yeah.
than do it.
Oh yeah.
When death seems like a better option than being honest.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, this movie does a brilliant job of showing that feeling. Just what the fuck do I do?
I really don't know what I would do. I like nothing seems like the right thing to do. Like, do you call the cops? Do you call an ambulance? Like, all I know is that someone with needs to handle this scenario besides myself. Like, I would know that. I'm like, someone on the outside of this needs to be dealing with this besides me. That's someone, a cop. I don't know if I'd call it cops, but I would call like an ambulance or something like that, and just be like, we have an accident here. I need someone.
But
And
either way,
the police,
no matter
the police would show up for sure. You know.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's a decapitated baby. Yeah. But either way, like in that instance, in that split second, he knows his life as he knows it is completely over.
Yes, exactly.
There's no way of handling it that will make this okay.
Yeah, so his choice is to conceal it, and with the full knowledge that that's a quick fix, man. That's not going to last. Like, you're not going to be able to conceal this forever, because eventually someone's going to want to see the baby. The mother's going to want to, you know, how come the baby's not crying? When was the last time she ate, or he ate rather? You know, like that sort of thing. It's like, it's such a, like, the clock is ticking, and you feel every second of this film. You know, like it's like an eternity in this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said, that last hour feels like at least two. And so for him, I mean, God, who even knows how that felt? And yeah, you're right. I mean, like, this is like, how long do you really think you can conceal this for? Like a couple hours at the very most. Is he
Yeah.
trying to buy time to like come up with a better plan? I mean, this is someone panicking,
Yeah. And so he goes to the neighbor, and
covered in blood.
covered in blood. And of course we see Ruth again, you know,
Mhm.
and this is where the mother is like, you know, kind of throwing it out there, you know, that, you know, if you you know, you feel like you know, you need some comfort, I'm around, basically. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, she's putting that out there.
if you want to spice things up a little bit, I'm here for you, you know.
Yeah.
And she gets him some cleaning supplies, and then the Ruth is like, if you don't tell your wife about us, I'm going to tell her.
Right. Which is so weird that that's like far down on the list of problems he's got right now.
I think that's why that subplot exists, is sort of like you were saying earlier, how that would be the entire plot of the film. Like, how
Right.
there's like a 13-year-old girl trying to manipulate a 45-year-old man into having sex with her and leaving his wife. You know what I mean? But in this movie, that's like small fry. That's like nothing, you know, compared to like what he's dealing with.
Yeah, I would imagine he probably forgot about that the second he went back to his apartment.
Yeah. You know, he's covered in blood, and like, she's like, oh, are you painting? And he's like, yeah, I'm painting. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He's trying real hard to act normal, and he just looks like a complete mess. And it's just funny that like they don't even really quite seem to notice that he's like in such distress.
Yeah. I found that odd too.
And you know, while this is happening too, it cuts between him panicking and trying to clean up the scene and his wife shopping. And something about this I just found so disturbing. Like, you know, her baby is dead. She doesn't. She's in the store enjoying this brief moment of quiet for her,
Yeah.
knowing she's gonna like go back and see her son, and she's so happy about that. But you know, she's about to walk in a world of shit.
Yep. Definitely.
And it's uncomfortable. And again, the scene has humor in it. Like this guy comes up to her at the grocery store, and like you think he's just trying to strike up a conversation with her because maybe he thinks she's pretty. He's like, "Oh, can you recommend a bottle of wine?" She's talking about the bottle of wine she has in her hand, and he just grabs it and takes it from her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
That was hilarious to me. And yeah, she runs into an old neighbor who has a now teenage daughter, and they're talking about the magic of childbirth and being a mom. And again, it's so heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's real
And
brutal.
also, again, like she sort of reacts like the way she talks about Jesus is like, like I bet she seemed to have had a little thing for him too.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one per se, but I think I could see that. Yeah, Jesus is, I guess a lot of women find him attractive over there in that city.
Yeah, he's got that hair, and he's
He's got,
tall, and
he's got that sick like ponytail.
yeah, he could have been in like typo negative or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they even try to call him, which again is like hilarious because he just like hangs up on him.
So, as you mentioned, Jesus is feverishly trying to get his shit together back at the apartment, and he cleans up the blood, and he takes the headless corpse of his son and puts it in a crib.
Yeah, he changes the diaper and
Oh,
everything.
God, that was brutal. Yeah, the
It
scene where
was.
he changed the diaper on this like headless dead baby, man. It's so fucked up. Like you don't see anything really, but you know what's going on, and it's like a coping thing that he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, you really put you inside of his head. Like maybe if I do this, everything will be okay. Maybe if I act normal, this will all go away. Like he's just grasping at straws.
Yeah. The salesman does show up though with the missing screw, which was the screw the reason why the baby's head got cut off? Maybe I don't know.
Well, yeah, and you can trace it all back to that moment in the furniture store.
Yeah.
And first time through, I was like, okay, he's gonna murder this guy or something. Like that's where I thought the movie was going. Like people were just gonna start fucking dying left and right, but that's not what happens. Which I mean,
as a matter of fact, like the salesman is like, I don't have a lot of friends. Like, maybe we can get together from time to time.
oh my God, yeah, and he's talking about like you can enter a raffle to win a fan. Like, and he's like, hey man, don't worry, I'll make sure you win.
Because he kind of felt bad about the screw, I guess, being missing.
Yeah, it's just so absurd, and he's not picking up on Jesus's state at all. Just completely oblivious.
And that is kind of a statement, I guess, maybe of just how numb and oblivious people are, like the insensitivity that people have of like this guy's obviously struggling, and no one seems to notice that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So Maria comes home, and she's like, he's once again trying his best to delay her seeing the baby. Because like obviously, he's no, he's sleeping.
Yeah,
forever to put him down, and I don't want you to disturb him and that sort of thing.
Doesn't want her even like let her into the apartment.
Yeah.
I mean, we should mention too, he goes out on the balcony and he's thinking about jumping before she shows up. And again, I'm like, man, that might be the better option if I'm this guy. Like,
no, totally. I mean, and him taking his life, like that comes up multiple times in this film. Like the idea of killing himself, like is like, because there's another scene later on where he's like composing like a message to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So somehow he makes it through this, segment where he is able to stop her from looking at the baby. Oh, and by the way, the baby's head is still under a chair or the couch in the living room.
Yeah, he can't bring himself to look at the head or touch the head. And the body is dripping blood still, and you can hear it on the baby monitor.
Dude, that scene was fucking
Oh.
intense, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that whole series of like, yeah, just like you're like, okay, man, he's just trying to keep it from the wife. How like you think maybe the tension will break a little, but it gets so much worse after.
Yeah. So his brother and his 18-year-old girlfriend show up. Now his brother is actually looks like he's a little bit older than him too, right?
I couldn't quite gauge like if he was the younger or the older brother. This guy looked like such a doofus. Like yeah, I'm trying to think of like like the equivalent over here, like this like aging hipster kind of vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You know,
mean,
probably like when people see when they look at me walking down the street.
I read it as him being his older brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was maybe the younger brother.
Okay. Yeah. But either way, he has an inappropriately aged girlfriend. At least
Yeah.
common. I mean, in my estimation, he's say a 42-year-old man with an 18-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah, he's definitely in his 40s. You know.
Yeah. At the minimum, I would say 42
Mhm.
with a
And
child as a girlfriend.
basically, yeah, and um what do you think about that? I mean, you got
Going out with younger women, you mean, or just
oh,
in general?
yeah, no. You got Jesus who's the subject of an obsession of a 13-year-old. And then you have the brother who's,
Oh,
in his 40s
interesting.
dating an 18-year-old in a film that's about a dead baby. Do you
Wow.
think there is some larger sort of statement being made about any of this? Like, I just wonder. I was like, that's maybe the person I watched it with pointed that out to me.
Huh.
And I was, you know what? That didn't even occur to me. But now after she mentioned it, like, there might be something there, something to it that the director's trying to say.
That's interesting, man. Because also over dinner, we find out that his brother's girlfriend, 18-year-old girlfriend, is also pregnant too.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
the situation is we've got um, an older couple who has a baby that's dead, right?
Yeah.
And we've got a 13-year-old girl who is obsessed with a 40-something-year-old guy who has a dead baby, right?
Mhm.
And we got the guy's brother who's got an 18-year-old girlfriend who's also pregnant.
Yes.
What do you make of all that stuff? That's quite. I mean, that's obviously intentional, So, what's the deal? Like, what can we read into that? Do you think?
Right. Because when like I guess you're like looking at the script, like so say from their point of view, and you're like, okay, what don't we need? Like, like do you really need the subplot about the 13-year-old neighbor? And they came to like, you do. I think it's intentional. What we're talking about. It has to have some sort of bigger meaning. I'm not sure what it is though. I have to admit, but there's something there.
Well, I mean, I mean, that bit much of an age gap to me is like, weird, honestly.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm almost 50. The thought of dating someone, even like, like 33 or whatever seems
Yeah,
like a bridge too far for me. I mean, to each their own, I would
yeah,
say, but
dude. I, when the age gap, all right, especially at 18, because they made. I mean, I don't know if she was being facetious when she said that his 18-year-old girlfriend, but let's take that at face value that she's 18, right?
mhm.
At 18, you're not even really emotionally an adult at all.
Although, I mean, I guess technically you're an adult or legally you're an
Yeah.
adult. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I think about some of the half-baked, ridiculous ideas and points of view I had when I was 18.
Cry when I was like 30.
Yeah, dude, and
Like,
it's just like, so if you're like someone who has lived a little bit, has got a few decades on that person, like what do you even have in common with them? And it's like, all right, so this is maybe what it is. It's like the two Maria and Jesus have, in my estimation, a bad marriage. Like they don't, she's they don't seem to be getting along,
mhm.
right? His brother is like has nothing in common with this woman, and now they're having a baby. So
Right.
it's like, I don't know, maybe it's like the sort of pessimistic point of view just on relationships in general.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they do kind of make it a point, like when they're looking at the baby's room, and she's like, "Oh, this so reminds me of Stranger Things." That line really stood out to me.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
It was like, "Though this kid's kind of clueless,"
oh yeah,
but
because also a lot of Jesus's toys from when he was a kid, like he's got
from
like,
yeah,
yeah, like He-Man and like some Star Wars, like like
yeah,
fighter TIE fighters and stuff like that.
she relates it to that through references to things like that, like Stranger Things.
Yeah,
Like she wasn't, there because she's, wasn't alive. She wasn't born.
yeah, it's interesting to be determined. I would say, like, I don't have a clear point of view on this. I guess, like, I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to say, but there's definitely some subtext there.
For sure. Yeah. And
So the
yeah.
dinner scene was just completely excruciating, man, because like he's getting drunk, like he's drinking,
Yeah.
and like he's not feeling well, and it's like he can't focus on what anyone's saying because he knows that it's only the clock is ticking, man. It's gonna come to light what happened any minute.
Right. Yeah, and he's hallucinating a little too. He's having like this wild like idea of blood pouring out of his mouth
Yep.
and yeah, it's just awful, unbearable.
Yeah,
It's unbearable to watch.
it really is.
It-
So his brother catches up with him and he's like, "You got to tell me what's going on." Right?
yeah, he catches him, he excuses it. He kind of yells at his brother like he has like a moment of honesty where he's like, I don't care about your child you're having with a child, basically. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna fuck up her life and fuck up your life, and he's done. He goes and records his basically suicide note.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And yeah, that's when his brother catches up with him. And
Yeah.
so he has to come clean with his brother and the cat's out of the bag at that point. And so to
Yes, and
speak.
his brother reacts appropriately, but lovingly.
Yeah.
He
Like,
he's trying to think his way out of it, of a situation that has no. I mean, there's no good answer.
dude, what even happens to what would even happen to someone like in that situation? You know what I mean? Do you go to jail? Like what the fuck, dude? Like I can't even fathom what would happen in a situation like that.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. What yeah, would you go to jail? I mean, your marriage is almost more than likely over.
Yeah.
Life as you know it is, oh, you'll never be the same. Is jail even that bad in his mind at that moment?
I don't even
You
know,
know?
man. It's like I guess it depends on what they convict you of,
Yeah, but
manslaughter, like
I don't even think he
negligence.
cares. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, um, yeah, it's an unwinnable. There's no way out of it. You can't think your way out of it. You can't explain your way out of it. And he made it worse. Somehow made it worse, like by trying to conceal it. I think.
Oh yeah. Well, the concealing part is even because that besides the horror of what actually happens, like the fact that he tried to like hide that makes is like really inexcusable and allowed everyone just to sit there while this corpse was in the other room and the head was under the couch and and now we have another scene that comes up that's actually kind of funny too in a dark way.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. Yeah.
So all right, so they're getting ready to tell Maria what's going on. But now Ruth, the 13-year-old, shows up with her dog, and the dog sniffs out the decapitated head of the baby under the couch.
Yeah, and she kind of tells the wife that like, "Oh, your husband kissed me in the elevator," and
Yeah.
the wife is this why you've been acting strange? And I'm imagining Jesus is thinking, if I wish that was all that was wrong.
Yeah. It's like exactly, dude. And that's like the absurdist like element of this film is like on 10 at this point, on 15. So he's accused of being, this like pedophilic behavior, which
Yeah.
he didn't do. The dog has the baby's head, and the Maria sees what's actually going on, and
But she doesn't want to see it, but she's slowly piecing it together.
is
Yeah.
piecing it together. Yeah. Um, and she takes the baby's head eventually. She just holds the baby's head in her hands and then
Ugh.
slowly starts walking to the balcony, the same balcony that Jesus considered throwing himself off of earlier in the film.
Yes.
You know,
And yeah, she slowly walks to the balcony. Camera sort of goes to other characters, comes back, and there's no one on the balcony.
yeah.
Um,
Then we see the police cars outside, and we can only, we obviously guess what happens. It's pretty clear what happens.
right. Yeah. Jesus follows her off the balcony. Brother's in shock in the back of a police car. The only thing he can seem to say is the coffee table. And we get a shot of Jesus, Mary, and the baby in the afterlife, and in front of their apartment.
Yeah.
And so happy ending? I don't know. Like it just sort of, yeah, it just ends. I mean, I don't want to say the ending's anticlimactic, but it doesn't ever play out the way I thought it would.
Well, I mean, where else would you have it go at that point? You know what I mean? It's like,
Again, I thought at the end a bunch of people were gonna die. I thought everyone in that room was done for.
mm. I had no expectations like that when I first saw this film, and I was just like completely just aghast by the directions that it took.
Me
And
too.
yeah, I mean, it was enough that Maria threw herself off the balcony for me too. Like that actually was unexpected, but now it makes sense. Like her whole life is shattered, so it's like ending it is probably the reasonable. And also, as we all know, the mothers and have a different relationship with babies, you know what I mean, than the father does. So that is almost especially an infant like that, like the strong bonds that a mother has, like it's almost like a part of themselves is dies as well. So and of course, the postnatal emotional hormonal thing that goes on, of course she killed herself.
Well, they even talk about it at dinner.
Yeah.
Adding more pain to Jesus when they're talking about, she's like, having my son was the biggest thing in my life ever. I love him more than I love
Yep.
Jesus, myself, more than life itself. And when, they ask Jesus the same question, he just says, "Oh, well, my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I love her more than anything." And they're like, more than your kid? Like, yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference there.
Yeah.
Like, she kills herself instantly. Like you said, her whole world was shattered. Whereas, I mean, Jesus' whole world was shattered, but he doesn't do it right away.
Yeah, he's trying to scheme his way out of it somehow.
Yeah, and like I think he's maybe looking for some shred of hope in this situation that is utterly hopeless.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting
Yeah.
to me.
I mean, I thought it was a powerful ending, man. Honestly, I thought the whole film was just like pretty expertly executed.
I mean, yeah, like having watched it a second time, which is something I swore I'd never do. Like you really, and even though you know what's coming, it doesn't make it any easier. It was almost harder to watch a second
Yeah,
time.
I agree. It was more horrifying the second time around.
Yeah, and it's expertly executed, but man, like it's not a pleasant watch at all.
No, it's one of those films that you watch because you want to see a great film and really explore some dark feelings. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I put this on the same level as like Requiem for a
Yep.
Dream or the original Vanishing, or a Serbian film, Martyrs, like
Yeah.
really expert level filmmaking, but Jesus Christ, like there's just you don't want to You have to really be in a mood to want to experience something like this.
Yeah, yeah, it's not easy viewing. And also it's like when I saw the childbirth stuff in the beginning, I'm like, oh, this might be like Inside or something like that. You know, like the French
Right.
film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Or like, yeah, I was like, is this about a cursed coffee table? I'm like, are we doing
yeah,
like
yeah,
90s Stephen King here?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
and then, it showed it picking up a knife. Is it going to become like, he's killing people to hide a secret?
Yeah.
It never really goes where you think it is. I mean, him grabbing that knife is a nice, like, bit of misdirection too, I
Yeah.
thought.
Definitely, Yeah. And
Um, yeah.
it's a unique film, one of a kind, in my opinion. Not for everybody, it's like if you want to have it's not a fun movie to watch, but if you feel up to the task, highly, highly recommend it, man.
Yeah, I think that, the Spanish language filmmakers are like, they're really bringing it with the disturbing horror films.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This When Evil Lurks.
Yep.
They're are we witnessing something new like the French Extreme we got in the early 2000s?
Definitely a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, this is a gem, but obviously it's not for everyone. I'm not really sure it's for anyone. Uh, but what would you give this?
4.5 out of 5, easily.
Yeah, me too. It would be a 5, but I mean, I honestly did not enjoy sitting through this a second time. But
Yeah.
it's such a well-crafted movie. Very few films will really get this kind of reaction out of you, and it's pretty rare. So, uh, if you're looking for an experience, an emotional one, I mean, check this out. But you'll feel different than you did before you watched it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll talk to you next time.
Take care.